Welcome, my friends and gems. I'm Dame Lillian Walker, and thank you for tuning in, tapping in, and turning on to this broadcast of Love and Money Secrets TV. Before I move on, thank you, Carol, my beautiful co-host from Yelm, Washington, for always being here and sharing your big, lovely smile and cheery disposition with us. So I want to share today, I just got, last night, as a matter of fact, from Barry, who had kidney failure, horrible kidney failure. He had basically a bladder infection. It turned into full-blown kidney failure. And he just reported 4 weeks ago, my creatinine was 376, my best so far. Then 2 weeks ago, it went backwards to 392, probably due to the bladder infection. Now, today, it's 371, my best test yet since complete kidney failure, thanks to the patches.
Oh, fabulous.
So there's
wonderful.
Another person who is, I'm just so excited for him. And he's feeling fantastic. His energy is through the roof and he's just full of vitality. And it's interesting, when he went to see the doctor, the nurse that saw him before he, saw the doctor said, wait a minute, they said it was a 73-year-old man who is supposed to be seeing the doctor next. He goes, you're not 73. He's like, I sure am.
Love it.
I'm like, wow, that's pretty funny that he didn't think that, that he looked his age. Because Barry does look pretty good. Both him and his wife, Gwen, look really pretty good for their age. They're both on the patches. So it's very exciting.
That's great.
So that was a great testimonial. There's another testimonial that, if I can find, told Lisa. Let me see. I need to put my glasses on. Yeah. Show you guys really quick. It's like, hurry up and slow down. I should have had it queued up before. Is this it? I think this might be it. No, maybe. She had a friend, either a Joy or a Judy. Anyhow, I'll just have to queue it up for the next one. Yeah, I'll queue it up for the next one because I'm not sure. Yeah, it's taking me too long to find it. So unfortunately, I'll have to, this one with Barry, I had queued up right away because he just sent it last night. But yeah, so it's just so exciting to see how people are moving along and coming along better. So all good things. So do you have any questions today, Carol, that I can answer?
Don't think so. I didn't receive the what you did yesterday. You were going to mail it to me, the frequencies.
Yeah, I still have to send it. I still have to upload it. I have to put the link in YouTube, and then I actually have to send you through WeTransfer. I'll be sending that to you for the frequency. Maybe we can talk a little bit about what you felt that experience was like when you had the frequencies, because we sent you different frequencies based on different things that that you have kind of going on. So what was that experience? Was it scary? Was it painful? Was it weird? How would you describe, having that frequency generator scan you?
I am used to sitting and still and paying attention to something. So that part of the format was easy. And then, of course, to keep the mind quiet and just focus on what's happening. And it was very easy to do with between the frequency and the pictures changing and stuff, and
Fractals.
I just locked right into the situation. And then I could feel it as my body settled down. I could feel it through my whole body, and just being
Yeah.
very calm, just calm and willingness to sit still and just enjoy the moment. That's how I felt.
Yeah.
So it's very, and then afterwards, I had tremendous energy afterwards. Not crazy energy, just
Yeah.
calm movement energy, and um, was able to go through the evening very easily, very,
Nice.
very easily in my body. Yeah,
Nice.
it was nice.
Yeah, isn't it interesting? I find the different fractal geometry color spectrums that are placed when we send you the frequencies, because that's all, customized to each person. I always find it how it's interesting because I can feel the resonant frequencies also going through me as it's being sent to you.
Uh-huh.
And I always find it so interesting how it goes through your body, but also how the fractals, how they kind of pull you in with the colors and the patterns that are there.
Yes, absolutely. It starts, it's almost like you just start going into the
Yeah.
picture, everything just starts
Yeah.
pulling you in. Yeah,
It is a very calming, calming
very.
and soothing feeling. Okay.
Yeah,
Very
it's wonderful.
awesome.
It's
Awesome.
wonderful. I really like it.
Yeah. Did you get a haircut?
No, I cut my bangs. They were hanging
Okay.
down, and I
I
just
was gonna say it looks like your bangs are shorter, so I thought maybe you got a haircut. I noticed that your hair's a little bit darker too.
it is
More,
darker, and
more
it's
blonde.
getting too long, and I have a call to my hairdresser. Please, let's see what we can do with my hair.
So just for updates, as far as since we're talking about hair, we know that a few months ago I started getting this little tuft of hair, which
Uh-huh.
now they're kind of almost bang length. It's kind of
Uh-huh.
funky because it's supposed to all be this length, but this is growing out. So it's still sometimes I'll notice, I'm like, I try to, at least it's not sticking up. It's long enough now where I can kind of lay it down. But then I just noticed yesterday, apparently I have hair on the side here too. So I'm
Uh-huh.
like, why is this? It's like this short little hair, and that's because that's hair that's growing
It's
out too. Let me see if I put it against the white. Then you can see how this one's short and then
yeah.
the other hairs are long. Like, so I have, I don't know, a little tuft of hair that is, it's kind of funky because I put my hair in a ponytail and then I had to pull the longer hair to kind of cover it. So it kind of like a C shape of hair. I'm like, that's kind of weird. Why would anybody cut? And it's not because I had it cut that way. It's because it's grown out. Since I normally wear my hair down, I didn't notice it. But
Uh-huh.
yesterday, when I put my hair back to put it in a ponytail like this, then that's when I noticed I'm like, okay, I got this funky little hair. Let me see, how do I make it look good? Because it didn't really
Yeah.
look
Yeah.
good that way. So that was kind of funny. And that's just suggestive of, even though I've been on the patches, on June 22nd this year, it'll be exactly a year that I started putting the patches on my body. So I'm still continuing to have new hair growth. And that's because when you have 33% additional master smart cells are in essence coming together with your existing smart cells that you have had on since you were conceived in your mother's womb, you have 33% more energy to replace, restore, regenerate everything in your body. So our hair, our nails, those are things that all continue to grow. As I've mentioned to everybody before, we don't realize it because we don't pay too much attention to our bodies. We're not really being, going in and paying attention to something in specific. But really, if you were to pretend, make believe that you were this kind of like this mannequin, if you will, and that you had thousands of little test tubes that were maybe just an inch and a half tall, maybe 2 inches.
Yeah.
Okay. And you were to picture that. In fact, my daughter's an artist, so I'll see if I can get her to create this type of graphic because this is something I've had in my mind's eye for quite some time, and I'm sure it doesn't exist, but I'm sure she could create that for me. If you had all these little vials, these little tubes of clear liquid, and I'm not implying that all the liquids in your body are clear, but I'm just kind of giving you a word picture, if you will.
Right.
And so if you were to imagine that you had thousands of little vials, your entire body is filled up with all these vials all the way down to your fingertips. and that the vials are different colored liquids, red, greens, blues, pinks, light red, dark red, different shades of, every color, like every color spectrum from the lightest red to the darkest red, greens, blues, teals, lavenders, you name it. And if we could do this in video form, which someday maybe I'll find somebody who is prolific enough with, that type of video artistry that they could create a video that would show all the liquids, emulating like a person who's talking. That would be another cool thing, to have them use my shape. And as I'm talking, the quicker I breathe, if I'm quiet, when I take deep inhales and slow exhales, it would show how, okay, if you're just doing deep breathing, of course, the calibrations are going to be a little bit slower. But if you're doing, let's say, a fire breath, they're going to be calibrating a lot faster because you're going inhale, exhale. That's the fire breath. You're literally heating up your body. You're speeding up your heart rate. You're speeding up your metabolism. You're speeding up also the reduction of acidity in your body, and you're raising your alkaline levels, which is definitely going to change your chemistry. So all those little vials are constantly, you and I are not aware of it, but that's what's happening. And those vials don't look like vials inside your body. In reality, they look like cells, because that's what's happening inside each one of the 56 trillion cells that you have in your body. Whether it's in your blood cells, whether it's in your cerebral spinal fluid, whether it's in your tissues, it doesn't matter. Inside your body, that little chemical adjustment is being made all the time. And that's what controls everything. So, which brings me, I think, to another point that I think I'd like to point out to people is that when you go to the doctors and you get a blood test, it doesn't matter if you get a full panel with like the works, or if you just get a basic cell blood count and basic CBC with 12 markers. Any kind of diagnostic test that you have other than, of course, MRIs, you can actually, they actually take videos of MRIs and videos also of ultrasounds. But short of that, that's a snapshot in time for the moment in which that information and that data. So it's like a picture of that time. If you were to take that same blood test or whatever other diagnostics, and you were to take it 3 hours later, 6 hours later, a day later, the numbers are going to be different because your chemistry is constantly changing. And that's why they use ranges of value. There's not like fixed numbers for things. There are ranges. I could manipulate the outcome of a test, and I could show that I'm a pre-diabetic just by eating a bunch of ice cream, or not even eating a bunch. I could have like a double scoop of ice cream, then take my blood test. Well, guess what?
Yeah.
Obviously, my glucose levels are going to be high. Obviously, my insulin, it's going to change not to mention it's going to boost your acidity in your body because I just had an ice cream.
Yeah.
Does that mean that I'm at danger of being a diabetic right now? No, that's the reason why they tell you to fast from midnight, the night before, until you go get your blood test at whatever time, whether you do it at 6 a.m, 10 a.m, or noon, they tell you, or 1 o'clock in the afternoon, you have to fast so that you have that constant, you don't have the alteration from whatever you ate, because they're not interested in measuring the chemistry in your body in reaction to whatever you ate. They want to get the baseline and get a constant. And they want to make sure that every time you do get a blood test, you've been fasting. So that's a constant. It's one less variable. They don't have to, account for what you are willing to admit that you ate and what you're not willing to admit. Because trust me, a lot of people aren't willing to say, oh yeah, I have McDonald's twice a day.
Yeah.
They'll tell the doctor, yeah, I eat healthy, and they'll leave it at that. And it's like, well, McDonald's, and I'm not trying to slam McDonald's. I'm just saying, fast foods, beige food as a general rule of thumb are not the healthiest foods. You want food that is God-made, not man-made. And so, again, it gets back to the story of chemistry, how those things affect your chemistry. and your chemistry is changing all the time, which means that your body is not in a static, fixed state, which is the good news, which means that you can always get either infinitely better or you can get infinitely worse. And we do have a choice. We can affect, we're powerful beings. We can affect change. We can decide what we put in and put better things in to improve our chemistry that will support our body more, and then start to have things go infinitely better.
Absolutely. Yeah, I agree with that one.
Yeah, sounds very good, very good. Well, we're going to, it's 222, the master number 22. So I want to share this document and maybe we'll dive in a little bit deeper. And if you have any questions about this document as we go along, Carol, I'd like you to ask the questions as we go so that this is more of a discussion. We're going to talk about the cell activation patches. Our disclaimer is that we don't treat, prevent, cure, heal, diagnose anything, nor do we offer any protocols. This is a wearable light technology that we use to activate your original master smart cells. So as you're aware, as we age, our stem cells decline in their ability to function and heal and restore our bodies. And our patches are clinically proven to provide the body with a level of health and vitality that a lot of people have never experienced before or haven't experienced in many, many years. And so what's the secret? Well, it's exciting because it's an exclusive, patented, and proven phototherapy, non-transdermal patch technology that is safe, and it's non-invasive. It's really easy to use. So our LifeWave X39 patches are as a direct result of over 80 clinical studies and 20 years of research. The story goes that David Schmidt, he's our scientist who is the inventor and founder of this cellular activation patch. He was put under contract by the Department of Defense to create and invent all sorts of different things for the Department of Defense. And then one day they approached him and said, listen, David, is there any chance that you could create something? You could invent something to enhance the energy of our Navy SEALs. Because right now we're giving them amphetamines, uppers, energy drinks, all of which work really, really well. But it's really taking a toll on their bodies. And when the effects wear out, they crash. And they're the first line of defense. And the Navy SEALs that they were addressing at this particular time happened to be the guys that were in submarines. And come to find out, those submarines were in the water 90 days at a time. And you got to think about this. It's basically a silver bullet. They're in an extreme amount of pressure, even though there's a controlled pressure environment, it's still not a natural environment. They're in darkness for the majority of the time because they're not getting out and getting sunlight every day. No fresh air, no sunlight. They're not getting grounded, right? So not to mention they're under exposure to all the EMFs from all the electronic components and the LED lights. They're being bombarded with LED lights because not only the lighting fixtures, but every single electronic gadget has LED light in it. And so LED lights, if you may or may not know, it causes insulin resistance, it increases inflammation in the body, and it breaks your DHEA fountain of youth hormone. Yes, not a good thing. So that's a problem, especially if you're going 90 days at a shot, without being exposed to more natural, healthier environments. And so David, because he's a man of prayer and meditation, went into deep meditation, as he always does. He's always done this. And he's invented over, I don't know how many total number of items he's invented, but he has over 150 patents and growing still to this day. And he went into meditation and he had a divine download to invent this mother cell activation patch and the energy enhancer patch. We now have a suite of 11 patches, but the very first one was the energy enhancer patch 20 years ago this year. So in 2004, that's when he invented this. Put it on the Navy SEALs, the rest is history. And then fast forward to 4 years ago, the mother cell activation patch was invented by David. And 2 years ago, the daughter cell activation patch was invented. So we're so fortunate that we're born in a time and in an age where it's actually accessible to people like you, with families like yours and mine and Carol's. And so this is, it's called X39, is the mother cell activation patch. And there's over 80, actually, as of the printing of this document, it says 80, but we have over 90 clinical studies over a 20-year period of research that was done in the United States, Europe, as well as Asia. This wearable technology is applied to the body, and this phototherapy patch is activated by your own body's heat. So it's the infrared light that you have. That's the color spectrum of light that we have inside of our bodies. And that's simply coming from the 56 trillion cells. Each one of those cells have electrons. Our blood, our cerebral spinal fluid, also known as CSF, has electrolytes. Electrons and electrolytes are little packets of electricity. That has a light spectrum of infrared light. And these work on infrared, visible, and invisible spectrums of light coming from our body. You simply put this patch on your skin, wherever you put it, forehead, hand. I had a gal yesterday that I was talking to. She's a gal that does nails, and she has been suffering with fibromyalgia, and her elbows have been extremely painful. And she just started wearing the X39. She just patched her elbow, and she said within the first day, she goes, the pain was gone. And she's never stopped wearing it since. And her energy, that was the next thing that she noticed. The first day she noticed the pain was gone. And then the next day, she noticed her energy was up and that she wasn't as tired by the middle of the day. And she's like, wow, I worked the full day and I still had energy. I wasn't like dragging. So that dragging feeling that she used to have, plus the pain, that's two things that are gone just in the first week of her wearing the patches. I'm not saying or guaranteeing, I don't guarantee anything. I can guarantee you that the sun will rise. I can't guarantee that you'll see it because there might be cloud cover, but the sun will rise. I can guarantee you that life will continue even after you and I pass. But can I guarantee you anything else? Not really. So everybody's body is different. So we know that no one is so special that this doesn't work, because all mammals have the building blocks of your master smart cells that built you in your mother's womb, and you still have them. You wouldn't be alive right now if you didn't have them. If you have 0 stem cells in your body, you'd be dead. And the truth is you're here witnessing this, so you're obviously alive. So we can activate 33% more by simply sticking that patch somewhere on your body. It works from the top of your head down to the bottom of your feet. This patch reflects your infrared light, which is about 98.6, 98.7 degrees Fahrenheit. Some of us run a little cooler, some of us are a little hotter. You can say you're cool or you're hot, you know, whatever. We got to be playful, have fun here with this. The bottom line is that is heat, because all light emits heat, right? And the moment you put the patch on your skin, that infrared light bounces off of this little crystal lattice. This crystal lattice, those are organic crystals. They're there as a mechanical structure. They're arranged in a very specific geometrical pattern, but each one of those crystals have also been set to a frequency. Just like we talked about frequencies that were sent to Carol yesterday, each one of these crystals have been programmed with frequencies. Then they're arranged into a specific geometrical pattern. So this is just a mechanical structure that redirects your 98.6 or 7 degrees Fahrenheit. It bounces off of this because these crystals are like a mirror. And then it activates your body's the one that's doing everything. This is just a mechanical device to redirect your body's infrared light. And that's what activates, it starts the domino effect of repairing, regenerating, restoring everything. So it reflects, like I said, specific wavelengths of light back toward the body, signaling the body to elevate specifically GHKCU copper peptide. Is that not extraordinary? Copper peptide, that is the agent that's the on switch. And that has been clinically proven to activate your body's own stem cells. And this is the world's first, and it's the only company. We have 0 competition. Think about all the vitamins that you have had over your lifetime. If you're anything like me, it's probably a lot of vitamins from several different companies, at least, that you've had. And the majority of vitamin companies don't have scientific studies to back them. I know that there's a company called Standard Process, which is an excellent company. They're over 50 years old. Most chiropractors' offices and many functional medicine doctors carry Standard Process as vitamins in their office. And yet they don't have one clinical study. Why? Clinical studies are super expensive. It's hard to get subjects to come in for the studies and to keep the constants that are required in order to pull off a study. And it costs a lot of money, because you have to pay the scientists, to do their work. Everything costs money, right? And in our case, we have 90 clinical studies, independent, scientifically proven clinical studies with double-blind placebo that have been done not just in the US, but also in Europe and as well as Asia. So that's pretty impressive. So this is the only company using this patent. As of this document's printing, I've been telling corporate we need to change this because it's not patent pending anymore. Now it's patent approved to activate your own master smart cells. So what are the benefits? Well, people experience reduced pain and discomfort, reduced inflammation, better sleep, improved energy and vitality, enhanced sports performance. So you are going to have more strength, stamina as you wear the patches because you're being literally optimized. Just like you optimize your computer, you're optimizing your body. It's going to assist you from recovery from exercise. It's going to help improve your skin appearance. It'll support whatever natural wound healing processes that are already inherent to the body, and most definitely restores your mental clarity. I am a big proponent of everyone restoring your mental clarity, because when you think better, you know better, you can recall better, you can make better judgment calls, you can take more ownership of what you choose to and choose not to do, choose to say, choose not to say, and so forth. Mental clarity, really, really, really necessary for everybody. Everybody can benefit from that, children and adults alike. So for people who are asking, well, how quickly do people experience these benefits? Well, and we literally have millions of people in 82 countries that are actively wearing these patches. There are millions of genetic differences that make you, uniquely you. So everybody's results and speed of those results are going to vary. No two people, even twins, have different fingerprints, believe it or not. So no two people experience the exact same thing in the exact same time frame, in the exact same way. Only you feel what you're feeling in your body. Nobody can feel it for you. So a lot of people, we call them one-patch wonders. Carol happens to be a one-patch wonder because in 10 minutes, she noticed a difference within 10 minutes of wearing the patches. That was very significant, for her. So many of you know she had AFib, and within 10 minutes, and she wore a pulse oximeter. In fact, I can put this in pause. I'll show you guys. Do you have your pulse oximeter handy with you? Because I know, okay, there you go. So I'm going to make the screen big so that people can see, because some people are going, what does that look like? Would you show that, Carol? And there you go. So you can see her pulse oximeter that takes her pulse as well as her pulse oxygen rate. And both her pulse oxygen, there you go. Go ahead, say. Okay. So it gives you your pulse and it gives you your oxygenation rate, which her pulse went down as it should because she had high blood pressure and high pulse rate. And then her AFib disappeared and her pulse ox also.
So it reads pulse and oxygen level. And so anyone can buy these. And so you always have something to reflect with, to know what's going on. So and it showed right away, the patches showed right away. And then as I was on the patches, it showed my pulse stabilized and became less rapid and just stabilized. And the oxygen level was very stable. So it was a good experience. I felt really good.
Yeah. Yeah, I had a birthday party that I went to before the end of the year, and there was a gentleman in his 70s. I'd say he's probably in his mid 70s, who all of a sudden was having, I could tell that something wasn't right with him. So I said, "Hey, why don't we go instead of being outside by the pool area?" I said, "Hey, why don't we go and sit down on the sofa? Let me check you out."
Mhm.
So he sat down. I took his pulse. Oh my gosh, his pulse was like 130.
Oh my.
It's like, oh, I'm like, your heart rate is like really high. Yeah, and I said, are you on blood pressure meds? He goes, yeah, but I didn't take it today. And I'm like, you really need to be taking, you need to take your blood pressure medication. 130 is like way high. If you were running, 130, 140, 150, 160 is fine. But a resting heart rate of 130 is way too high. So I was like, okay, not good. So I said, would you mind if I patch you? And I explained to him about what the patches are. So I went ahead and I patched him. And maybe I want to say like within 15 minutes, he's like, he goes, wow. He goes, I don't feel weird anymore. I go, oh, you were feeling weird when I took your pulse? He goes, yeah, I was feeling really weird. I go, yeah, you didn't say that when I told you to sit down
Oh,
on the sofa. He goes, I was feeling really weird. I said, yeah, that's because your heart rate is so high. That doesn't feel good. That's not normal. That is a weird sensation, very strange sensation. I'm sure he was feeling strange things in his chest and probably his head, because part of what's going on is your heart has to work a lot harder to get oxygen to the brain. It's struggling to get oxygen to the brain because there's some sort of, there's oxygen deprivation to the brain, which is why the heart's working so hard to get it there.
yeah.
So he was probably feeling a little woozy too, which is kind of why I looked at him and I thought he looked a little strange. So anyhow, I put the patches on him and he's like, and then 30 minutes later, he's like, I feel back to normal. And I'm like, good. I go, so you're going to wear this, you're going to wear this 12 hours. And then I give him several days worth so that he could, benefit from that. But it's amazing. It's amazing to me how something as simple as this is like a little sticker or a Band-Aid,
Yeah.
really, because
Yeah.
this is not doing the work. Your body is the one that's doing the work. This is
It,
just a mechanical device to redirect your own body's light, your own body's heat, that 98.7. And that's the on switch to activate your stem cells because GHKCU is automatically turned on the moment you put this patch because of the pattern and the frequency of the crystals. That's it.
yeah. Yeah. It's fabulous.
Pretty extraordinary. So I'm so glad I never leave home. Of course, I wear the patches every day, but I always have patches, like several patches in my purse because I don't know who I'm going to run into, who I might be able to. Even if, it doesn't matter if they end up getting started on the patches.
Yeah.
And I wish everybody would get on the patches because everybody can benefit. But I'm not doing it for them to buy the patches,
Right.
from me. For me, whether they decide that they're interested or not doesn't matter, but at least I'm gifting them. It's like gifting them, and I did make sure that I had this handy so I could show. It's the cost of a Starbucks coffee a day for just this one patch. So I'm giving a $5 gift to someone. I'm paying for it. I'm giving them a $5 gift. And at least I know for the next 24 hours, because even though they'll wear the patch for 12 hours and then remove the patch, I know for the next 24 hours, they're going to feel better. Sometimes it'll last more than 24 and it'll go to a day and a half or so. But at least 24 hours to a little bit more, they're going to be feeling better for at least a day. And if I can, I'll give, 2-3 days worth. So that's $5 to $15 out of my pocket every time I patch someone. Is it worth it? Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Because I really believe one of my mentors years ago, back in 2004, as a matter of fact, I had the incredible mentor, Brian Buffini. And he would say, and he's a mentor to everything from doctors to dentists to lawyers to real estate brokers, lenders, you name it, financial advisors. And he would say, you give it out in slices. So this would be like a slice of bread, and it comes back to you in loaves. It may not come back to you directly, you know, that's none of your business where it comes back from. It's
Right.
like,
Yeah.
you know, we give it out in slices, you know, this YouTube channel. I created it with the intention of giving free education. It's free training, free education. It's knowledge that's taken me a lifetime to acquire. I spent hundreds of thousands of dollars to acquire all the certifications. I have a ton of certifications, so many that I couldn't possibly count. I wouldn't have any place to put them all on a wall. And it's like, it seems too braggadocious to, you know, have like a hall of fame. It's like, please, nobody really wants to see that, right? So I've got a few of them up, just, you know, and I've got a few upstairs, but I'm not going to put all of them up. But did I really want the paper? No. What I wanted was the knowledge, and what I wanted was the practice of whatever it was I got certified in, to do the hands-on so that I can effectuate a change, effectuate reparation and restoration for the person that I have before me. And so there are things that I know that I've learned along, you know, over the course of my lifetime that I can pass on to you for free, just as I've had mentors who've passed on information for free to me. And then after a certain amount of time, I decided, you know what? I'm willing to pay thousands of dollars for one course for me to sit in your classroom and to learn everything that you have to teach on this subject, and for me to have hands-on training, whether it's a day or a week. Sometimes I do intensives that are 11 days long in a row, where it's 14, 16-hour days. And then at the end of the 14, 16, you know, 14, 16 hours, and after, you know, 10 to 12, 11, 12 days, we have a test, and then we actually, you know, walk away with the certification. And then I'm able to come back, and I know that there's things that you can do that don't cost you, or there are things in your own kitchen that you can use, or you can start to buy certain things from your natural whole food store and things like that, like organic baking soda. You might switch from baking soda to organic baking soda. We should do an episode just on all the health benefits of baking soda. But oh my gosh, if you guys only knew what's going on in the toothpaste industry for the last 15 years,
Oh gosh. Yeah.
holy Toledo. And and now Bill Gates and Jeff Bezos have been buying all sorts of organic companies, because they know that those people that only buy organic items won't buy the non-organic stuff. So they're trying to buy that part of the market share to expand, obviously, their income. But they also, you know, there's a change that's wanting to be put into all of the population on the planet. So guess what? Burt's Bees was just bought, I believe, by, it was either Bill Gates or Jeff Bezos. So Burt's Bees is not as organic as it used to be. So can you use that? I don't know. That's a personal choice. But I know for myself, it's been at least, let's see, we're in 2024. So it's maybe closer to 18 or 19 years that I switched over, and I haven't used regular toothpaste in at least 15 to 18 years.
Yeah.
Why? Because I realized some of the things, and I've talked about it on my broadcast before, you know, the detriments of an aluminum tube. That's a known neurotoxin. I don't want that going into the toothpaste. Now I put it on my teeth and my gums. It's absorbing. The lining of my gums are connected to the lining of my brain.
Yep.
I'm like, no way. I don't want to have, people are going, well, where am I getting aluminum? You know, how come I'm showing aluminum toxicity in my blood tests? You have no idea. We'll have to do another episode on that. But the bottom line is, you could use organic baking soda with organic coconut oil, just those two ingredients. If you want to get fancy, you can take organic, you know, essential oil.
Yeah.
If you're not too caught up with that, then you could skip the essential oil. But just organic baking soda with organic coconut oil. My goodness, it makes your teeth white. It gets rid of all of the plaque in your mouth, provided that you brush well, right? But that same organic baking soda that you have with coconut oil, you could do, of course, pulling with, you could use organic coconut oil. You could use other oils too, but we're going to stick to baking soda right now, because that's our topic. Another thing you could use organic baking soda for is deodorant. Now, you've been conditioned and you've gotten used to use a roll-on or a deodorant stick or an antiperspirant, But the reality is there's all sorts of chemicals, especially, my gosh, that's like where your lymph nodes are. No wonder we've got this proliferation of women with all these breast issues and cysts and, you know, breast cancer and things like that, and even cancer in the lymph nodes. Well, guess what? The deodorant has a great thing, you know, the antiperspirant more than the deodorant has a great contributing factor towards that. And we have research now that supports that. But if you switch over and get over the fact that it's a powder, and all you need is a little bit of water, you mix it up, you know, you dip your fingers into the powder baking soda, and then you just rub it under your armpits. It works fabulously because it's a natural deodorant. It naturally alkalizes, neutralizes the pH of your skin, which is what creates that deodorizing effect so that you don't have any of the body odor that you normally, which is why you're wearing the antiperspirant and the deodorant. So that's two uses right there, which just doing those two, but why stop there? Facial cleaner. Oh my gosh, you take coconut oil on the skin, fantastic. You add a little bit of baking soda to that. It's a wonderful exfoliant. I mean, you see that I don't have spots on my face and stuff, but I've been using this for, like I said, 15 to 18 years. And so you just take a little bit and just use it to the texture and consistency that you want. You can take just baking soda and water, put that on your face. And again, you have the benefit because it is a cleaner and your face is nice and clean. You're not altering the chemistry of your skin in a negative way. And those little tips, you can look up. There are articles. I know Dr. Josh Axe, Dr. Mercola. There's quite a few different functional medicine, naturopathic type doctors, Barbara O'Neill. They have a list of all the different ways that you can use baking soda for yourself that will help benefit your body. Not to mention detox baths. I love doing a detox bath where you include baking soda, Epsom salts, borax, and bentonite clay. And if you can find I'm starting to move away from Himalayan salt, because a lot of the Himalayan salt that's coming into the US is from China, and a lot of it has been found to have lead in it. So I used to use that, and I switched over to Celtic salt instead. It's a little bit more expensive, but hey, it's way cheaper than the pain that you're going to endure from whatever disease that you would have. And in the long run, you don't want to be penny wise, pound foolish. You want to always invest in the highest ingredients, whatever you're putting in your body, absorbing or touching your body, you want the highest form of ingredients. So oh my gosh, doing a, year round, even if you're in the perfect health, once a week, you should be doing a detox bath, in my opinion. That's what I recommend to all my people, because we're constantly being bombarded with toxins. So you do that. And that's called the Dr. Hilda Clark. Actually, no, the Dr. Hilda Clark cleanse is something else. I don't even know the name of that detox bath. I got that from a naturopathic healer in San Diego back in 2000. I think it was 2006 or 2005.
I did that. Yeah, I did that too. I know who you're talking about, but yeah.
But not that bath is very efficient, very effective, and it really does detoxify your body.
Mm-hmm.
And to the degree that you have more things that are bad that are going on in your body, that means that you need to do that detox bath not just once a week. You might need to do that detox bath 3 times a week. If you have anybody watching this right now, if you have a severe psoriasis, dermatitis, eczema, dermatitis pretty much covers any skin issue that the doctor's not telling you it's specifically this, that, or whatnot. I can tell you the cause of that, the greatest cause of that is toxins that are trying to come out from your body. So it's showing you that it's too much for you to defecate it or urinate it. So your liver, it's above the pay grade of your liver, and it's above the pay grade of your kidneys, which is why it's coming out through your skin. So that means that you might need to do that detox bath every single day. And that's a 30-minute hot detox bath with those ingredients that I mentioned every single day until that clears up. And then of course you have to make sure you increase your water intake to at least 50% your weight in fluid ounces of water until that clears up. And if you're having a severe allergic reaction that's reflecting that in your skin, or worse, then that means you might need to do twice a day. And that's what I had to do when I had a severe allergic reaction last year. I had to do 2 to 3 detox baths a day. It took about 90 days for me to completely clear it out. But I inadvertently, for those of you who don't know, I inadvertently had taken, I don't normally eat red beef, but I actually had a piece of beef that was injected with a higher than normal amount of penicillin. And my body, because I'm highly allergic to penicillin, like Dr. Galley told me, he goes, you could have died from that allergic reaction. I go, I know, but luckily I knew exactly what to do. It took a lot of doing, but it was not an easy thing. And then I had to go to Dr. Galley's center and I had to have Myers cocktails like 2-3 times a week because I needed to help. Basically, your body is like, it's like the ground that your entire system grows from. So you need good fertilizer, good nutrients to flush out things and bypass your digestive system and have it go directly into your system through your veins, through your bloodstream. So that's why I had to do some of those, and but it works. Like I said, it works.
They work. I've done them all. Yeah.
Yeah, it really does work. So we're going to wrap it up here. It's 2:53 p.m. I want to thank you guys for tuning in, tapping in, turning on here to Love and Money Secrets TV. If you have any kind of questions that you'd like to run by me, I am not a doctor. I'm not a medical doctor that writes prescriptions. I'm someone who specializes in repatterning the brain. I have, like I said, many certifications. So I'm poly-certified, a neurosomatic practitioner, and I specialize in cellular activation using this life-saving technology that we talked about earlier today. But if you have questions, comments, concerns, if you need help with your situation, feel free to reach out. I can show you how not only you can unring the bell of that damage, even whether you decide to get on the patches or not, that is irrelevant. Of course, that's going to be the most efficient, the most optimal way for you to repair your body. But there are things, like I said, that I mentioned in this broadcast that you would benefit from doing. And you just have to choose to get started. So, all right, come back to me with any questions that you might have. Carol, anything to add to that?
No, you do a wonderful job, and we're patched.
We're patched.
Got my patches. Got my patch.
We're patched. I gotta start having live patching parties.
Yeah,
all right.
That's due.
All right. Ciao for now, my friends and gems. As always, love you all. And do hit the like button. Do share this with a friend that you think might benefit from this life-saving information. And hit the notification bell so that the next time the next YouTube video gets posted or I go live, you're notified and you can catch this